Title: My ex-wife married my billionaire CEO and got me fired. I lost my career, my home, everything. Enjoy being nobody, she texted. Delivering pizza at 50, I met an old man who stared at me. You're Jacob Grant's son, aren't you? Start: I was delivering pizza to a mansion that looked like a museum. White marble, imported vines, and guards with Bluetooth earpieces. I remember thinking, I used to work for people like this. Then the door opened, and there she was, Melissa, my ex-wife, wearing a silk robe that cost more than my entire car. Her smile froze when she saw me standing there, grease-stained cap, cardboard box in hand. I saw the flicker of discomfort in her eyes, gone in an instant, replaced by that same cruelty I'd once mistaken for confidence. Enjoy being nobody, she'd texted me 3 years ago. I guess this was her encore. Back then, I was the senior project manager at Grant & Cole Real Estate, the same company her new husband, Richard Cole, owned. My boss, my mentor, the man who toasted me at our wedding. They fired me 2 months after the divorce. No warning, no explanation, just an email and a security escort. The whispers were that I'd leaked company data. Lies Melissa had planted, of course. She knew where I kept my files, my passwords. She knew how to destroy me. I lost my career, my home, my reputation. She made sure of it. For a year, I drifted. Freelance gigs, cheap motels, pride in ruins. I told myself I was fine, but every night I replayed the moment she signed the divorce papers. Her face calm, as if she were crossing off an item on a shopping list. Love doesn't end with anger. It ends with quiet realization that the person you trusted most enjoyed watching you fall. Then came the night I met the old man. He lived in a retirement home just outside the city, one of my delivery stops. Thin, sharp-eyed, with a voice that carried a strange authority. When I handed him his pizza, he squinted at me. "You're Jacob Grant's boy, aren't you?" he asked. I froze. My father had died when I was 10. I barely remembered his voice. "Yeah?" I said cautiously. The old man smiled, a little sadly. "Your father and I started Grant & Cole in 1982. He owned 60%. When he died, those shares went to you." I laughed, a tired, hollow sound. "You must be mistaken. I never saw a cent." He waved me inside, pulled out a dusty folder. Inside were documents, incorporation papers, stock ledgers, my father's signature, notarized. And there, in bold, my name. Michael Grant, beneficiary. Then he showed me the current valuation. I collapsed. $2 billion. That's what 60% of Grant & Cole was now worth. And they'd buried it. Forged filings, hidden trusts, falsified death settlements. My so-called mentor, Richard Cole, had stolen everything that was mine. And Melissa had married him. Not love, partnership, a merger. That night, I stopped being the man who delivered pizza. For 6 months, I planned. Silently, precisely. I found an old friend, a forensic accountant, who owed me a favor. We traced the fraud, every shell company, every offshore account. I hired a private investigator, had him tail Melissa and Richard. Pictures, meetings, liaisons, evidence. Then, quietly, I bought back my father's old lawyer's firm under a different name. Through it, I began accumulating small but significant shares of Grant & Cole through intermediaries. It took time, patience, calculated silence. Meanwhile, I crafted my return, not as Michael Grant, the ruined man, but as MG Holdings, an anonymous investor offering to fund Richard's latest luxury project, the Horizon Tower. The bait was too sweet to resist. He took it. And with that contract, he signed his own undoing. 6 months later, at the project's grand unveiling, the ballroom glittered with champagne and billionaires. Cameras flashed, reporters swarmed. Melissa stood beside Richard, smiling like royalty. Then the lights dimmed. On the giant screen behind them, a presentation began, but not the one Richard had planned. I'd hijacked it. One by one, documents flashed across the screen, falsified stock transfers, hidden offshore ledgers, Melissa's emails confirming their fraud, her own signature on the falsified inheritance declaration. Every secret they'd buried now laid bare before the press, the board, the investors. Gasps filled the room. Then silence. I stepped forward, calm, composed. "Good evening," I said, my voice echoing. "I'm Michael Grant, son of Jacob Grant, legal owner of 60% of Grant & Cole." Richard's face went white. Melissa's champagne glass shattered in her hand. "Security!" he barked, but no one moved. They all knew. The truth was undeniable. I walked up to him, handed him a single envelope. The legal judgment reinstating my ownership. "Your company is mine again, effective immediately." He reached for me, shaking, but I leaned close. "You built your empire on my father's grave. Now it's your turn to lose everything." Melissa didn't say a word, just stared, her mask slipping, fear creeping through the cracks. Within a week, the media tore them apart. Fraud, embezzlement, insider manipulation. Their assets frozen. Richard arrested. Melissa named as an accomplice. The mansion she flaunted in? Seized. The cars? Gone. The press camped outside her gate. For once, she couldn't charm or lie her way out. I watched it all from the quiet of my father's old study, the one she'd mocked for smelling of dust and history. It was mine again now, every inch of it. A month later, I received a letter from prison. Richard's handwriting, shaky, desperate. He blamed Melissa, said she'd planned everything, said she'd used him. Maybe she did, maybe she didn't. I didn't care. Vengeance isn't about truth, it's about balance. Last week, I visited her. She was sitting alone in a public defender's office, makeup gone, eyes hollow. "You won," she whispered. I smiled faintly. "No, I just took back what was already mine." She looked away. "You could have ruined me quietly." I did. When I left, the air outside felt sharper, cleaner. People say revenge doesn't bring peace. They're wrong. It does, if you do it right. Not in rage, not in haste, but in silence. Because silence is where empires fall. And that's where I live now, in the quiet space between justice and ruin, where she taught me to be nobody, and I became everything.